Hello.
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 Welcome to a special episode of the Serenknitty podcast. My name is Beth, and I'm Witty Knitting on Ravelry and Instagram.
And I'm Tracy. I'm Phoenix Fire on Ravelry and Phoenix Fire _knits on Instagram. And we have a very special guest today.
I am Heather, known as Bunniphish on Instagram and YouTube.
Yay! Welcome, Heather.
Thank you.
So we're having a quick crossover episode to kick off a crossover knit along. We're so excited.
Yes, so this is going to be the I have it on my paper. Tracy told me to write it down.
Yes.
The Scrap Happy Minithon knit along.
Do you have to say knit along if you've already said it's a Minithon? Does Minithon
Wait,
imply it's a knit along?
This is the Scrap Happy Minithon.
Just clarifying, just making sure. You could also crochet those minis. Can we
Yes.
weave those minis? I think we can weave those minis too.
Oh, sure.
Do we have
Why not?
weavers? Do we have weavers among us? Leave a comment if you're a weaver. I don't know if we have weavers. What are the rules? Who remembers? Put my teacher voice on. Does anyone remember what we discussed before we started?
I remember that the start date is October 1st and it goes through the December 31st.
Yes. The idea behind that was we can go ahead and get started during this October and keep on going through our Advent season because a lot of us are getting mini skeins for Christmas or for the Advent season. So that'll be cool. What did we decide about? Okay. Decided that this is not a full skein knit along. It has to be a mini or a scrap. I mean, you've already used part of it, so at least a little bit should have already been used in another project, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the inspiration was someone had asked in a comment during the Knitathon, how much of my skein do I need to use before I can count it for points? And we didn't have a rule on that, so I thought, well, we're going to have a lot of leftovers. So hence the Scrap Happy Minithon is born.
Yay! So we decided entries are when you get to 50 grams is one entry, right?
Mm-hmm.
50 grams total of yarn. So it might be 1 3-gram mini and then 47 grams that you pulled out of a whole skein. I think that still counts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Every 50 grams that you knit is your entry, but something in there needs to be a mini or a scrap.
Right.
So if you put 10 5-gram minis into your long-term blanket that you started 10 years ago, that's an entry. If you make 1 50-gram knee-high sock out of mini skeins, that's an entry. Or if you just make a 50-gram knee-high sock and the heels, toes, and cuffs, for example, are minis, that counts, right? And we're still tweaking. So if you have another idea that we haven't covered here, leave a comment and we'll figure it out.
Also, if you're making small things like baby socks and baby hats, you can group those into bundles of 50 grams.
Yes.
Those will count.
Baby shower bundle. I know a lot of little baby socks and hats for baby showers. They're my favorite.
There are a lot of babies that are going to be happening soon in my life.
Oh, okay. So here's a story I'm going to put on the internet. One of my former students brought her baby to meet me last week. And even though we are nearly completely locked down from the outside world because of our COVID restrictions, the school secretary let her come up to my 4th grade class to show me her baby. He's a year old, adorable. I think you guys know this, but I love babies. I love babies so much. I wanted to hold that baby so badly. It's COVID time, so I did not ask to hold the baby, but I did wave at the baby, and this 1-year-old baby gave me his elbow to bump.
That's amazing.
Cutest thing ever.
It is so sweet.
And his mom said, he's a pandemic baby. So, obviously.
Yep.
I've never elbow bumped a baby before until last week.
Oh.
Like, why did I tell that story? Oh, lots of babies being
Why
born.
wouldn't you tell that story?
Exactly. But lots of babies being born. There's some baby stuff. Get ready for some baby showers.
I have all the yarn wound up and ready to go for the Stephen West bubble cardigan that I'm using entirely minis for it. I'm like, oh, that might be a good goal.
That's
And
made
it's
quite a few entries.
Yeah, it's ready to
Great
go.
goal.
I have yarn ready, but I hid it under my prizes. So this is my first goal. I have to show my bag first because isn't that amazing? The cutest bag ever.
Mm-hmm.
I won this as a podcast prize from this now defunct podcast called The Foxes and Socks. You may have heard of it.
You may not have heard of it.
Oh, that reminds me. One of your former viewers just found us, and she has a question. So remind me. I need to ask that in a minute. But here's the first thing I'm gonna do. This is a set of small minis that I got from the Sexy Knitter, and they are very fall inspired. They are pumpkin pasties. That's the name of the set. And I put in a few more pumpkin-y looking things here in the back. So my first item of business is going to be to get these things out of my stash because they've been sitting around for ages, and make a pair of Scraposaurus socks by Heather Laws. Number 1 on my list. That'll be starting October 1st. Whips count, right? Whips count, but I'm gonna wait till October 1st to cast on. Especially if you're working on a long-term project and you're just putting your minis into your long-term project. I think that would be fine. That's my first one. Heather, what are you going to knit for the Mini Mania? No, wait. Scrap Happy Minithon.
I am going to definitely work on a blanket, put squares into that, and then I'm not sure. Probably scrappy socks because I love making scrappy socks.
You're fine. I'll be working on my granny stripe blanket too. So I'm obsessed with it.
I'm glad that you started that.
Thank you so much, Ricky. I would never, I always would second guess myself and never start the blanket.
Right? But it's not even that difficult.
It's not. It's fun. It's so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't touched my granny stripe blanket since finishing Aspen's temperature blanket because that was just a lot. But now I'm like, ooh, if this can count for to knit along,
go for it.
Maybe I'll bring it back out.
All right. I've got a question to ask everybody. And then I think we should show off what we're knitting. And then decide if there's anything else we need to let these awesome viewers know before they get started planning on all of their mini skein projects. Long-term friend of the Foxes and Socks podcast, Marie Knits. Do you remember Marie? She sent that awesome gift bag to Aspen when she was born. Good old Marie. She found us on YouTube this past week. And she has been working on a ranunculus for her, I think it's her daughter. I have this on my phone. She is using very, very slippery yarn. And the ranunculus, as you know, because I've knit 2 of these things, it's a very open weave knit. So she's having trouble with how to weave in the ends without the ends being visible or slipping out. So let me make sure I've got this right. Now she's knitting for her daughter-in-law using bamboo, cotton, and acrylic yarn. So she has found a tutorial about like pulling the fibers apart and weaving in each one individually. And I have done that before. It does work. It's just a lot of trouble. And my other suggestion was, I think it's not very noticeable if you're working your way up the inside of the ribbing, like at the neckline. So if you join skeins in the middle, that's going to be a problem. But like up here at the neck, if you just weave down the column of knit stitches, that hides it pretty well. But does anyone have any suggestions for hiding that slippery yarn in an open weave garment if she's changing skeins in the middle? It's a hard question.
It is a hard question. I like to weave using kind of like a duplicate stitch on the back of the project. And you can do that in open knitting. You can even do it in lace work. Just follow the pattern of the stitches themselves as you're weaving in the back. Or if you are, if you're cognizant of when you're going to change your yarn, you can split the strands and then overlap from each, the new and the old, about 6 inches, and just have, like, if it's a 2-ply yarn, have 1 ply from each, and then it's woven in as you knit.
Yeah, I've done that before too. That works really well. I think she might be finished though. I'll be too late for that one. But something to think about if you are planning a project like that. Duplicate stitch is a good idea. Have you tried any of this before?
That's how I weave in all my ends, is what Heather said with the duplicate stitching. And if I do like the where you split the plies, which if she's done, then this isn't that helpful, but I do it like twice as long. And then, so like, let's say it's a 2-ply and a 2-ply, and I would cut one of the plies out for a couple inches. And instead of just kind of laying them together, I like loop them over each other and pull them back so that they're not, I don't know, it just makes me feel even better that they're not gonna like slip out. Does that make sense?
Similar to a Russian join?
What is a Russian join, Heather?
It sounds like what you're describing.
Yeah, I think that's what, I think it's the same thing.
A Russian join.
This is not a popular opinion, but I have, if I'm really worried about it, like when I knit Rena's cotton alpaca sweater, and it's 14, it's going to be, she's going to take it to college with her, and she's going to throw it in the washing machine up there, and God only knows what's going to happen to it. I was proactive, and also I tied those ends in a knot, and then I wove them in like that, because I know knots are not popular in knitting, but I felt a little bit better knowing that if that unwove itself in the washing machine, there was something else that's going to catch it, hopefully before she brought it home saying this whole thing unraveled. So there's also that, but don't come at me. I just sometimes the knot makes me feel better just knowing that it's
knots work in lighter weights of yarn. Like if it's a super bulky, probably not, but in fingering through like light DK, they're really not that noticeable.
Yeah, I would not recommend making the knot and then cutting the yarn unless you are really proficient with your magic knots and you feel comfortable with that. But making the knot and then weaving in the ends, it's another layer of protection as far as I'm concerned. So I know a lot of people are like, no, never knot your yarn. I felt better knowing it was there.
When I first started knitting, I would like weave, I didn't feel confident with the way I would weave in ends. So I would like weave it in the way I thought I was supposed to, and then I would still tie a knot. I tied a knot in everything for probably the first 2-3 years.
Oh, fray check. Have you tried fray check?
I have some. I've never used it.
I've listened to Pam and Greg talk about it on Unraveling podcast, and I haven't tried it before, but I wonder if that would help with that slippery stuff too, to weave it in and then put a little fray check on the edge just to make sure that it stays.
Probably.
No, it's an idea that none of us can speak to with any authority, but it's an idea.
I also think that, you know, when you're making something, you can be, sometimes we each can be kind of critical of like how something looks or how visible something is. I mean, when that sweater's done, probably nobody's going to notice anything about the fabric other than you're going to notice because you're looking for it. Like, I think if you just do that duplicate stitch, ends, I don't think anybody would ever, I don't think it'll look bad.
Yeah, I think she's more concerned because it is a gift. It wouldn't bother me. I've knit 2 of these sweaters and it didn't bother me just to weave my ends in, as I usually do. But if I was giving away, I might think twice about it. Does this look okay? Is she gonna wonder? Is it gonna fall apart? You don't want your sweater to fall apart when you give it to someone else. And that might be just me projecting because I'm really worried about that sweater that will be going to college next year. It's a good sweater. It's a really good sweater. Whew. Speaking of really good sweaters, I'm knitting a really good sweater right now. Do you like that segue?
That was a great segue.
Thank you.
Very smooth.
You would think I worked on it in advance. Wait, where's that? Look at my cute sweater. Oh, cute my sweater is. I didn't know I needed a red sweater, but I think I'm gonna really like this red sweater. This is Flax, my tin can knits in the Smooches colorway by Miss Babs. I have 2 Miss Babs Yowza What a Skeins that have been sitting around in stash since the second time I ever went to a fiber festival. So they're at least 10 years old, if not older. And it's time to wear these skeins instead of having them take up all that space in my little knitting cabinet. I'm super excited about it. Yeah, thank you. I've got like 6 inches left to go on the body. Get the sleeves put on. I don't think I'm going to carry the garter all the way down the sleeves. I think I'm just going to let that be a little detail on the shoulder. And I think it was Ronan's last sweater that I messed up and accidentally knit the whole sleeve, the whole like sleeve cap in garter. And now I'm thinking, I kind of like that. I wish I had done that on this one too. I don't know. I make a lot of flax light sweaters for baby gifts because it's just one skein of fingering weight yarn and I love it. And I feel like it was the last one I made, which might have been for Ronan. But then again, it might have been for a coworker's baby. So yeah, I kind of regret that I didn't mess up this one and put garter all over the entire sleeve and then just have the rest of it be second. But that's okay. I think it's cute.
Next time.
Yeah, next time. That's what's taking up all of my attention right now. All of my knitting's in a place where I'm just doing plain stockinette, and it's kind of nice. What are you guys working on? Jump in.
After the end of the Knitathon, I just started casting on whatever I wanted to. So I've started a bunch of just like plain vanilla socks. I finished the body on the Nuna sweater that I showed last time. And Tracy, remember you were like, that's going to be too long. Like that looks like it should already be done. And I was like, maybe I'll try it on. So I have this like, I don't even know what it's called, but you can put it on your.
Let's try it on tubing.
Yeah, well, it's not that, but it's like that.
Okay.
And so I tried it on and it was very close. So I have the body of that done. Just need to start the sleeves. This is one of the socks I started.
Oh, it's so cute.
In cat sandwich fibers.
I thought so.
Because Tracy got me this shirt. So I was like, well, now I have to have cat sandwich yarn on my needles.
Duh.
And this is in the color Magical Girl.
So pretty.
So
sorry, my son's making lunch.
Breakfast. He just woke up.
Yeah, that's true.
I am working on a sock. I don't remember what it's called. It's a test knit and it is going to be scrappy. It's really, really fun. So it has big color blocks. Like it has 4 contrast colors. And so they're all knit in just really big color blocks. And then there's a little fun color work section of a contrast color to break up each section. And they're kind of like connected diamonds. Saw it on Instagram yesterday and someone said, oh, I need a test knitter for this size 72 sock and I only need 1 sock knitted. And I was like, yes, me, pick me. I will do it because Patrick doesn't need matching socks. So I can just knit the 1 sock for the test knit and be done with the project. So this yarn is knitted with, I don't remember the colorway, but starting a scrappy sock that's not eligible for the knit along. It's fine.
You can knit the second sock for the knit along. Maybe.
I mean, maybe, but it would be different yarn. So, do you mind if I shamelessly self-promote something though that's knit along related? Okay.
Do it.
So this is recently finished. This is what I have been working on, and I'm turning my trough pattern into a collection, and this is one of the variations. So it's using 20 gram mini skeins. And I need test knitters for it. So it's a long testnet period. It's through the end of November. I don't have it even written up completely yet, so there's time. But if people were interested, whips are allowed, and you could do this.
It looks like at least 2 entries.
Yeah, it is. I have to weigh the gray to see if you need a full skein. I don't know if it's more than 50 grams because I haven't weighed it yet, but it's between all of it, it's more than 100 grams. It looks like this.
It's very pretty.
It's very pretty.
Yeah.
And while you are self-promoting, Heather has a lot of excuse me, a lot of patterns that will work really, really well for this knit along too. I'm knitting one of her patterns, Scraposaurus, for my entry into my own knit along. And there's so many others. What else do you have, Heather? You have a long list.
So I have a hat called Signature Stripe, which is a main color with like a 10-gram mini that just spirals around. I have 3 different pairs of socks that pair a mini skein with a bigger skein. The Ridgeback socks are really popular. They have like this, the sample is knit in a self-striping on the front and then just a main color contrast on the back in kind of a wavy pattern. I have a shawl called Chaotic Neutral. There's probably more, but those are the ones that are coming to my mind. Oh, you could make the Keep Calm and Shine Bright yarn cozy too.
I love that one. The boat socks. I need to make a pair of the boat socks because my daughter's turning 18 in December. She's not watching this, so no spoiler. But yeah, that might be another one of my entries.
Yeah, that's 2 minis and a main color. So I have a lot.
Check out her pattern store. There's a lot there. The loud noise just inspired. I don't know if you heard the weird creaking noise coming from off camera, but that was me. We have been walking on subfloors since July because of that horrible flooding situation I know I've mentioned before. Our new floors are in and we're getting them installed tomorrow. I'm so excited. No more subfloors. That weird noise when you step. There's one board that always goes grrr when you step on it. I'm so glad that's going to be covered up. I don't have to hear that again, especially in the middle of the night. It's really creepy. So there's my good news for the week.
Okay, so you having Heather talk about her patterns made me think maybe people should get double entries if they knit a Heather pattern.
Ooh, let's do that.
Well, that's exciting.
Let's do that.
Awesome.
Write that down.
You.
Write it down. My paper is getting full.
That has become our official secretary of Scrap Happy Minithon.
You should all be very afraid.
Did we talk about how to enter?
We did not. I was just thinking, you read my mind. I was thinking the same
I know you wrote that down.
Yeah.
On that amazing notepad. Show off your notepad too.
Isn't it so cute? It's from Knit Picks. It's cute little knitter lady.
Cute.
Okay, how does one lose one's pen cap? Sitting right here. Found it.
It's not difficult to do.
There's going to be a Google form, just like our last Knitathon knit along. So for the Scrap Happy Minithon, there'll be a form that you'll fill out, just kind of saying what your project was, how much you used, blah, blah, blah. And that's how we'll keep track of everything for when we draw for prizes. And you will have to either, on that form, you'll either have to link to if you've put your project on Ravelry or Instagram, or if you don't do either of those things, then you'll be able to email a picture just so we kind of have the accountability of knowing that you did what you said you did. And then because Heather and Tracy are so very organized, they already have prizes.
Oh yeah.
Ready.
That doesn't sound right. What?
More to come.
All right. Are we showing our prizes? Is that where we are?
Yeah.
I have three prizes I put together. So I have a set of minis from Spin Monkeys, and they are rainbow and so cute. They are 10 grams each, about 40 yards in each one, and there are 6 rainbow minis. I also have a shawl set. So a shawl set. This is from Harbor Fibers. Oh, my camera, this is the worst. If I try to show things off, I make it so much worse, but the colors are good. Colors are right. It's the Diving Deep mini set, a single ply, 437 yards in the main color. It doesn't say how much the mini is, but it's the Diving Deep set. And then I put together a sock set because I love sock sets. And I plan to knit a lot of socks and it's knit along. So I have a skein of the Lemonade Shop and the I Love Cake colorway, which is a very true statement. And I'm sure this will blow out. Whoop, pretty close. And a mini from Fangirl Fibers. This is her Hot Stuff colorway. And it pulls this pink that you can't see as well. There you go. Pulls out this pink so nicely. I thought they looked so cute together. So that will be a third prize. And Heather has an amazing grand prize. Really excited.
So I will be giving away it's kind of an advent calendar, but the minis won't be individually wrapped. It's going to be 25 5-gram minis that are all green in some sort of way. So I'm excited because all of the minis, I'm doing an advent calendar, and so I've been putting together all of these minis, and they just all look so beautiful. All of the greens look so good together. So if you like green, definitely make sure to enter for that.
Exciting. That's so exciting. And we know Beth's going to go shopping.
Yeah.
Maybe from Stash, maybe from, Instagram.
Yeah, we'll see how many entries we get. We might be adding even more as we go.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Have we covered everything?
I mean, I think so. I think if we didn't, we'd have plenty of time to clarify.
Awesome. Well, then we can go ahead and wrap this up because our editor hates it when we do Minnesota goodbyes. I'm not sure why they're called that because we do them here just as much as anywhere else.
Isn't yours called a Vivian goodbye?
Yeah, it could also be an Edsel goodbye. Oh, I hope they never find this. But yeah, my mom and my father-in-law are tops at the long goodbyes. Like, oh, let me follow you out to the car because I only have 10 more things to show you and tell you on the way out. Yeah, don't cut this out, Michael. This is good stuff.
As a podcast watcher, I love this content, Michael. Leave it in.
That's good to hear.
I'm the Bunniphish who comments all the time. You can double check on the comments to see if I love this content, because I do.
Awesome. All right, guys, so start pulling your mini skeins and all of those scraps and putting them together and looking for projects that they can go in. Check out Heather's shop I know it's on Ravelry. Where else do you have your patterns?
Payhip.
Payhip and Ravelry, and look for patterns you can get your double entries for. And we'll see you soon. We're going to be drawing the winners for the Knitathon here shortly. So I wonder which one we'll put up first. This could be weird if I'm saying we're doing this shortly and they've already watched it. Okay, cut that out, Michael. All right. Everybody have a really great week and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.